श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम की, श्री श्री गौर निताय की, जगत गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की, निताई घोर प्रेमानंदे. Somebody can help in Kartal. जय कृष्ण बलराम, कृष्ण बलराम, कृष्ण बलराम, जय वृंदावन धाम. कृष्ण बलराम, कृष्ण बलराम, कृष्ण बलराम, जय वृंदावन धाम. गौरनिताय, 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 जय गौरनिताय. जय कृष्ण रुक्मिणी सत्यभामा, कृष्ण रुक्मिणी जय सत्यभामा. जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह, जय अनंत देव, कृष्ण रुक्मिणी जय सत्यभामा. जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह अनंत देव, कृष्ण रुक्मिणी जय सत्यभामा. जय भक्त हनुमान, जय गरुड़ देव, भक्त हनुमान जय गरुड़ देव. हरे कृष्णा, हरे कृष्णा, कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम, हरे राम, राम राम हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा, कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम, राम राम हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा, कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम, राम राम हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Shila Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text number 13. Please repeat after me. Dehino asmin yata dehe. Dehino asmin yata dehe. Kaumaram yauvanam jara. Kaumaram yauvanam jara. Tata dehantara praptir. Tata dehantara praptir. Dhirastatra namuhyati. Dhirastatra namuhyati. Somebody wants to recite? Dehino asmin yata dehe. Kaumaram yauvanam jara. Tata dehantara praptir. Virastatra namuhyati. Dehinosmin yata dehe. Kaumaram yauvanam jara. Tata dehantara praptir. Dhirastatra namuhyati. Mataji. Dehinosmin yata dehe. Kaumaram yauvanam jara. Tata dehantara praptir. Dhirastatra namuhyati. Dehino asmin yata dehe. Kaumaram Yavanam Jara Tata Dehantara Praptir Dhirastatrana Muhyati. Word to word translation. Dehinaha, of the embodied, asmin, in this, yata, as, dehe, in the body, kaumaram, boyhood, yavvanam, youth, jara, old age, tatha, similarly, dehantara, transference of the body, praptihi, achievement, dhiraha, the sober, tatra, thereupon, na, never, muhyati, deluded. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. As the embodied soul continually passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change. Purport. Since every living entity is an individual soul, each is changing his body every moment, manifesting sometimes as a child, sometimes as a youth, and sometimes as an old man. Yet the same spirit soul is there and does not undergo any change. This individual soul finally changes the body at death and transmigrates to another body. And since it is sure to have another body in the next birth, either material or spiritual, there was no cause for lamentation by Arjuna on account of death. Neither for Bhishma nor for Drona, for whom he was so much concerned. Rather, he should rejoice for their changing bodies from old to new ones, thereby rejuvenating their energy. Such changes of body account for varieties of enjoyment or suffering according to one's work in life. So Bhishma and Drona, being noble souls, were surely going to have either spiritual bodies in the next life, or at least life in heavenly bodies for superior enjoyment of material existence. So in either case, there was no cause of lamentation. Any man who has perfect knowledge of the constitution of the individual soul, the supersoul, and nature, both material and spiritual, is called a dhira, or a most sober man. Such a man is never deluded by the change of bodies. The Mayavadi theory of oneness of the spirit soul cannot be entertained on the ground that spirit soul cannot be cut into pieces as a fragmental portion. Such cutting into different individual souls would make the Supreme cleavable or changeable against the principle of the Supreme Soul being unchangeable. As confirmed in the Gita, the fragmental portions of the Supreme exist eternally, sanatana, and are called kshara. That is, they have a tendency to fall down into material nature. These fragmental portions are eternally so, and even after liberation, the individual soul remains the same, fragmental. But once liberated, he lives an eternal life in bliss and knowledge with the personality of Godhead. The theory of reflection can be applied to the Supersoul, who is present in each and every individual body and is known as the Paramatma, who is different from the individual living entity. When the sky is reflected in water, the reflections represent both the sun and the moon and the stars also. The stars can be compared to the living entities, and the sun or the moon to the Supreme Lord. The individual fragmental spirit soul is represented by Arjuna, and the Supreme Soul is the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna. They are not on the same level, as it will be apparent in the beginning of the 4th chapter. If Arjuna is on the same level with Krishna, and Krishna is not superior to Arjuna, then their relationship of instructor and instructed becomes meaningless. If both of them are deluded by the illusory energy, Maya, then there is no need of one being the instructor and the other the instructed. Such instruction would be useless because in the clutches of Maya, no one can be an authoritative instructor. Under the circumstances, it is admitted that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Lord, superior in position to the living entity. Arjuna, who is a forgotten soul deluded by Maya. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yenam Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Itinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pasyat Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gauravaktarunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. As the embodied soul continually passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change. Srila Prabhupada used to mention how this transmigration concept is such a, sort of universally understood concept in Bharatavarsha, right, in India. Even though they may not understand all the details, people understand karma, oh, my previous birth I must have done something, and concepts like this. In contrast, over here, I've never even heard about this concept. And in the Abrahamic religions, especially in Christianity, there's no concept of rebirth at all, or transmigration. And so it becomes very difficult to understand then why are different living entities in different situations. Somebody is in a favorable situation, somebody is not in a favorable situation. We can say, okay, oh, you do something wrong, then you get some punishment. Maybe you can try to explain like that. But we see that people who don't do anything wrong in this life, they also get punished, they also get diseases, they have experience different kleshas. And the question comes up, like, what about little small children? Unfortunately, sometimes small children are born with very terrible diseases. They're born blind, and so what did they do? So this is where the Shastras talk about the transmigration of the soul. There is one historical understanding which was a story of a Brahmana by name Susharma. So this Brahmana, Susharma, he was born in a in a good family, but he did not take up spiritual life, even though he was put in a favorable situation. He was always, he somehow developed all kinds of bad habits. He started eating meat and drinking liquor, and lost all his common sense, that good tradition and upbringing gives you. And he was, living a tamasic life. He used to earn his livelihood by, picking leaves and making, plates and selling them in the market. And so he just whiled away his life like this. One day, he went to pick some leaves, and in those leaves there was a snake. He didn't notice, and he disturbed the snake, and the snake bit him, and he died. At that time, he was taken in front of Yamaraj, and a list of all his sinful activities was read out by Chitragupta, and it was decided that he did not deserve a human birth in his next life, and he was supposed to become a bull in his next life, which actually is not a bad situation, because in the Shastras it is said that there are few animals that next life is the human life. And so if you're born as a cow or a bull, your next life is actually a sattvic human life. It is said that if you're born as a tiger, your next life is a rajasic human life. So there's some species are stepping stones to a human life. So it's not going back too much. If you go back to insect or something, you have to go up many chains and then you become a human being. So just you're slipping back one level in the species. Now, switching from a human body to a bull's body, a little bit of adjustment is needed. Just for example, if you, when you nowadays, they put a lot of these artificial knees and all that, right? So they'll put this, steel joint and bolt over here, and they'll put you through some rehabilitation to how to use that, because you have to, a little bit different than your normal, this thing, so you have to practice a little bit. So in the Shastras it is mentioned that when you're transitioning species, and or if you have committed a lot of sinful activities, you go through certain conditioning in what we call as like the hellish planets. We keep hearing about this, right? It's a accelerated punishment cycle, so that you don't have to suffer too much when you come back here. They a little bit accelerate all the different things, because there is for every action there is a reaction. Now, for example, Sushirma was eating meat, and in the Shastras, the Sanskrit word for meat, what is it? Mamsa, right? If somebody knows a little Sanskrit, if you look at the etymology of the word, it is Mam Saha Kadati iti Mamsa. Mam Saha means me, he will eat. So you're basically telling, I'm going to eat you, or you can eat me next life. That's what the word is telling. And so you have to, for your tongue, if you just indulge in this kind of thing, because you are giving that animal also pain. It was happily sitting and eating some grass and doing what it was doing, and you caught it and you killed it, and now you are eating it. So somebody has to bear that punishment for what you did. So he was put through a lot of hellish conditions, and the next life he became a bull. And because he did all this lot of sinful activities, he didn't become a bull in our Goshala. Where they all live like kings, Everything is taken care of, So he was born as a bull for a crippled man. And this crippled man used to load the bull up with a lot of weight. And used to work him too much. One day, he overloaded the bull so much that as he was going, he couldn't bear the weight and his legs gave away and he just fell down. And he was in so much pain that he even fainted. And all the people who were passing by saw this bull lying over there. It was fainted on the side. They took pity on him. And there was one saintly person. He said, okay, whatever, he remembered some of his pious activities and he prayed to the Lord saying, oh Lord, please give my credits of my pious activities to this bull. He's suffering so much. In our Vedic tradition, we have compassion for cows and bulls because, again, I said, they are useful creatures, they are useful, animals in the society, and they have a special role to play, and then they become humans next life. And so everybody was giving their pious credits like that. Who was passing by, they all saw this man. Oh, let's give some. There happened to be one prostitute who was passing by, and she saw all this, and she said, oh, I don't know whether I have any pious credits. But if at all I have done anything pious, please let that credit go to this bull. And so that bull got up after some time, and very soon, because they live very short lives, he passed on and he was brought in front of Yamaraj. And he was sitting over there and waiting, what punishment I'll get. But this time, they read through these things and said, oh, you know what? You got all these pious credits because in animal life, you don't create karma, the Shastras say. You only burn your karma. So you were almost ready to become a human being, but you got all this credit from all these people. So all this positive credit was there. And so they said, no, you have become qualified now to take a Brahminical body so that you can continue spiritual life. And he was very surprised. Oh, so much credit. Like, who gave me the most credit, this thing? I want to at least thank them in my this thing. He said, the highest credit you got was from the prostitute. He was surprised. And then he said, how should I repay this? He requested, can I please have remembrance of this so that I can, go back and thank that person. He said, okay, you'll be blessed with this remembrance. And so he was born as a Brahmana, and then as soon as he grew up and started becoming a little bit more distinct, he was given that remembrance. Oh, you remember, your now good situation right now is because of this credit you got. And so he sought out that lady and then went and met her and then explained what happened. And thanked her. He said, thank you so much. You gave me a human birth for your credits. And then he asked, what pious activities had you done so that you have so much credit that you can give it to me? And then she said, I don't know what pious activities I have done. I have lived a sinful life. But one good thing, I have a parrot in my house who keeps reciting the Bhagavad Gita, first chapter. And then he goes and this parrot will keep on repeating the first chapter of the Gita. And because of listening to her, I've been listening to this parrot, and I also got purified. And that's why I also got purified like this. And then they go and say, you're such a wonderful parrot. And then the parrot starts talking. He says, hey, I was also a Brahmana in my previous life, but I also did some sinful activities that became a parrot. But even though I became a parrot, I was allowed to remember my previous life. And then as a parrot, I was rescued. My mother died very young age, but I was rescued by a saint and kept in the ashram. And in the ashram, the children were all reciting the Bhagavad Gita first chapter. That's how I learned. So in this wonderful example, there are so many people's lives are intertwined. But there you're getting a sense of all the different aspects of transmigration of the body. One aspect is all of us have to, like this body is a machine, yantra rudani mayaya. When the machine gets old, if you have a very old car and it's breaking down all the time, what do? Is it time to give it back? You get a new car. So like that, the Shastras are telling that when the body gets old, I never used to wear glasses before, now I need glasses. And the distance from my phone is increasing every day. Even though I have glasses, I have to keep my phone at this distance. I'm sure end of the year I have to change my glasses. Right? This machine is becoming old, memory is becoming weak, digestion is becoming weak. So like this, all the different parts of the body starts failing. At some point, it becomes untenable, not worth. So then you're given a new body. Right? That is one aspect. Secondly, what you sow, you will reap. So the activities that you do now are creating your future. That is why it is said that we should all take this opportunity. We're all blessed with a human birth. We're all blessed to be born in quite an opulent country, in an opulent situation. We don't have to really work too much for our livelihood. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Yoga Brashta Parantapa, when yoga is not completed, what happens to them? Suchinam Srimatam Gehe. You will be born in Suchinam. Suchinam means those who are clean both inside and outside. That is a spiritual family. Or Srimatam, in a little bit wealthy family. So you don't have to struggle for your livelihood and you can engage in spiritual life. So we have all been blessed with that. So we should take advantage of this favorable situation and practice spiritual life. And the chanting of the holy names of the Lord, chanting of the Gita, is a very potent methodologies for purifying ourselves, especially in Kali Yuga. So we should all take advantage of this and perfect our lives in this life itself and go back home, back to God. Okay? We're actually having performances by the children of the Sunday school, so we'll be ending the class a little early today. Okay? Jai Shri Prabhupada ki, Grantraj Bhagavad Gita ki, Bol Premanande. Somebody can announce.
Sunday, please sponsor after before Aarti. Okay, then I think we can. Shijish Prabhu, can you help? Get the bag at the desk down.
This is the second one on stage.
Iyala.